Good morning, everyone. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers may recognise some of the scenery that I'm walking along and past right now. I'm on my way to Lochwinnoch again. Last time I went, I was in search of Caldermill Waterfall. Today, I'm in search of the Castle Semple Grotto, which is an old building, about 200 years old. It was built as part of the estate owned by some wealthy landowner. It's part of the Castle Semple Country Park now, so we can all get to enjoy it. So this first part of the walk can be a wee bit noisy because I'm right next to the main road. But just up ahead there's a turn off into Lochwinnoch. Then it'll get a wee bit quieter there, so it's just a small village. We won't have all this traffic. I do have noise cancelling on my microphone. I don't have it turned right up because it can make the audio a bit muddy. So hopefully you can hear me okay. That riverbed gives you a clue about how sunny it's been the past few weeks. Completely dried out. Truth be told, it's too warm for me. Anything above 20 degrees and I tend to struggle. So that's why today I've picked this walk, because I know there should be a little bit of shelter from the trees on the pathway, at least part of it. And I'll be walking past Castle Semple Loch, which has a cafe in it, so if I do get a bit too tired or exposed to the sun, I can go in there on the way back and have a rest. Gorgeous sunny day like today, schools are off and there's not a child playing football on that nice pitch. Honestly, when I was young, we'd never be off the football pitch. Which doesn't quite explain why I was so hopeless at playing football, but there you go. You can just see a glimpse of the loch between those trees and bushes. Thankfully this path leads round to it, because you couldn't walk through all that growth there. This country park is a marshland as well. Probably sink right in. Hope you're counting how many bridges I've crossed already. I've been walking for less than 10 minutes and I reckon that's 4 bridges I've gone over. Bet you the owner of that house there hasn't paid for electricity in months. Sometimes solar panels can be very useful in Scotland. This path through here is about to open up onto a lovely summer's day view of the loch. And there's the map. So that's where I got the train to, Lochwinnoch station. Walked down the main road along this path to here. And I'll be following the length of the loch up until about this point, then cutting up to Parkhill Wood. And back there is where the grotto is. I can't remember if I've been here before. I think I must have been, but I'm not sure. But looking at the map, it suggests there's a viewing point up here, and then you can walk back through Lochwinnoch village and back to the station. That's the plan. Let's see if it works out, or if I have to change what I'm actually doing. Before I left the house, in preparation for knowing how warm it is today, I gulped down loads of water, and now I'm desperate to find a toilet. Thankfully there's a public toilet next to the cafe, just around the corner here, so I hope it's clean. I'm sure it will be, but I'll go here, I do about the loch, leave myself in the loo, and then we'll charge on around this route. Well, there's a lot of people here because there's a lot of cars here, but surprisingly not many people out in the water. Maybe it's too early, it's about 11 o'clock, just after 11 o'clock. I mentioned it the last time I came to Lochwinnoch, but there's a bird sanctuary over there, past it on the way here. So, see a lot of birds flying about. There's a few people kitted out, ready to go out sailing. That was a good clean public loo, who would have thought it? It's the visitor centre and cafe there. I might pop in there on the way back. Give you a view of the loch all the way around from where I come in. Way across there on the other side is the main road and the train station. Some youngsters about to enjoy getting out in the water. I think I've only done canoeing once or twice in my life, because I was forced to. But quite fancy taking it on. Midlife crisis, what to take up canoeing. There's a sailing club right here, I believe. And where you see all these boats. Just waiting for somebody to come and take them out onto the water. See, told you. The Collegiate Church I've definitely been to before, but I'm not going there today. So it'll add an extra couple of miles to my walk. And the walk is already from the station over 4 miles. So it'll take me about an hour and a half. Not including my walk to the departure station to get here. So that's far enough in a day like today. I've come out in the morning to try and avoid the worst of the heat because the past few days it's just been too warm for me to do anything. When the temperature goes above 20 degrees, I start to struggle. Being an old bald git, but, I have to wear the hat, being an old bald git, but it leaves me so warm. I need a recommendation for a hat though. Stop my baldy head getting burned, stop me getting sunstroke, but will let a bit of air in because I'm absolutely sweating wearing this. Maybe a straw hat is what I need. This feels sturdy enough. A few strange creaking noises, but look at that. So relaxing. just sit here with a deck chair and a picnic. It'd be very nice. Honestly, these nice relaxing views, sound of the water lapping up against the shore, just makes you want to sit down. But I've got a walk to complete, so charge on. So I've came here, which is today's sensible option. I was tempted to go to the Ayrshire coast, but as usual it gets very busy when the weather's like this. So a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people don't come to Lochwinnock as much as they would come to the Ayrshire coast when the sun's out, just prefer the beach, but I quite like it here. I mean, what's not to like? Look at that. There's lots of little mini sections of shore where you can have a seat. Or as I saw back there where a dog decided it wanted to swim, so it was straight in the water. Very nice. You can see somebody in the distance fishing into the loch. Wonder if you need a permit for that. I expect you probably would. We're coming up in the carvings. And give you a look at those. I think the weather's getting the better of these carvings. Starting to wear away a little bit. That helpful sign has confirmed what I could see on my map. Go up this hill and straight ahead for Parkhill Wood. And I'll leave the collegiate church for another day, a cooler day. So. Oh yes. Why do I sound so happy? Because I'm in the shade. Which pleases me no end. From what I can see on my trusty map here, follow this path up and then there's a left somewhere up here. And you see all those other paths up here as well. We'll have to investigate them at some point. And there's a little burn. Nice and cool. It's all muddy at this bit, I'm guessing in the winter the water will be a lot higher than what it is now. I might sound out of breath, don't let that fool you. I'm simply unfit. This isn't a difficult walk. It's a pity somebody's chucked a Starbucks cup down there, isn't it? Scabby gets. Oh, and there's a coo hiding in the field. Hello, Mr. Coo. There's a noisy bird up there. And a noisy wasp attacking me as well. Honestly, the summer weather's nice, but I do tend to get a bit annoyed when buzzing, flying beasts swirl around me and land on me. Although to be fair, this wood hasn't been too bad so far. Maybe it's too early in the day. I suspect that's my turn up here. Better check the map, just to be sure. Yep, it is indeed. You know, I'm tempted to go up this way. How far out my way would it take me? Do you know what? I'm in the shade, I'm not too warm. Let's try the grotto on the way back. And for now, I'll follow this path and see where it leads. Well, it's maybe about an extra 10 to 15 minutes walk up this way, and I'll just double back. I'm not entirely sure I've ever been up in this path, so I might as well do it. Because although it's sunny, I bet you in the winter this path is full of mud. I mean, it's still a bit muddy at the edges, so let's do it now. What's an extra half hour onto the walk? Well, that sign would suggest that I can head down that trail on the way back, and that'll take me towards Park Hill Wood as well. Oh, look at that, that's pretty cool. I wonder who carved all these and who paid for it. Probably some local artist. It'll be funded by, I doubt the council would fund it, it's probably funded by some sort of charity. No, I don't remember this path, but I've definitely been to the Collegiate Church before, so at some point I must have walked up here. Maybe it will jog a memory once I get there. Not that I really need a memory jogged because I know I've been there. It's just this woodland section I don't remember. Look at this nice well-defined path. Compare that to my video that I did in Dalry recently on the Doggerland path, where there was no path. This is how a countryside walk should be, or a walking trail should be. The path doesn't need to be perfect, but when you can see in this, there's lots of stones where obviously they have been laid over it at some point and they've just been trampled in over the years. But it's not overgrown. No, it's wide enough to walk at either side. You're not getting stung by nettles and walking through bog water. So yeah, well done whoever maintains this. Renfrewshire Council, I suppose. Well, I'm enjoying the breeze, hitting my baldy napper, so it's going to come to an end just shortly, because that's me moving out of the woodlands into the open space, and the sun is going to try and melt my face off. So, run it on and charge on. There you go, 521 years old this church is. And it is just a ruin, if I remember correctly. Let's have a wee look across this field, because that looks like it might have a bit of a view. Oh, apart from the farming machinery, or whatever it is. What is it, a trough? Don't know. Anyway, might look nice. But The farmer's been spreading dung in that field. Absolutely stinks. What's that I see in the distance? That would be the church. I'm looking at this old eerie building, standing in the middle of nowhere. Ooh. Now, I'm pretty sure you can go inside this. Just need to find the appropriate entrance. Because that gate there takes you... Is that actually? Protected place. It's a crime to damage the site. Well, I'm not going to damage the site, I'm just going to video the site. So let's head in, avoid all these spiders' webs. I'm going to have a wee gander. That's a creepy sounding creaking gate. Let's circle it, get it to this side. And apart from not having a roof and a few bricks missing up at the top of the tower, it's actually in surprisingly good condition. It's obviously well maintained. Let's go inside. And there's graves in it. Died 1889, Sir Charles Farquhar Shandkeld. 1883, 39 years old. I can barely see that one. 1871, that person died. The Lady Elizabeth. (1888). I'm guessing this is a family that probably owned this estate. Look at that, died 1874, but was aged 99. You wouldn't think that, would you? Somebody would live to 99 years old back then, 1872. I think they're all in that 30-year period at the end of the 1800s that these people have died. Watched too many episodes of Outlander. I didn't get transported to another time there. Ah well. There you go, the Collegiate Church in Lochwinnoch. I'm glad I came here because on the map I thought, oh no, that's so far away and I'm going to be exhausted in this sun, which I'm sure I will be by the time I get home, but actually it's not far away at all. I was thinking it'll add half an hour to my journey. Honestly, it was about 10 minutes to get here, if that. So I'll head back the way I came, and we'll head towards the grotto now. Right, so I was just about to leave the church and I looked at my map just to see if there's anything else in the area. And just across from the church, there's something called the Lower Cascade. I'm assuming it's some sort of dam for the river here. And it's just across this tiny bit of field, so I'm going to go in. I'm not going to go in. They've put a bolt on it to stop people getting in, and I'm not climbing the fence. That's quite annoying. Why don't you just take the bolt off the gate? Because obviously it's meant to be visited. There's a sign over there. Anyway, you can just about see it. It looks like there's a little construction over the burn there, so well, must just operate as a mini dam of sorts. Don't quite know the purpose. Don't quite know why it's blocked off. Anyway, back in the original journey towards the grotto. I have no clue what these berries are, but as soon as I walked past them I started sneezing, which might just be coincidence, but I bet you they're poisonous. Oh, that's me back in the nice shaded wooded area, so the bonnet can come off. The tap stays on though. I'm not one of these guys that knock about with the t-shirt off in the summer. Honestly, when I see these wee scrawny guys running about with their milk bottle white skin and their taps half, it's like, mate, just buy a nice lightweight sporting t-shirt like this that wicks the moisture away. Only costs about £5, and then we don't need to look at your scrawny manky wee body. Maybe it's just me that thinks like that. Maybe the women love it. You'd need to be desperate. Walking up this path was nice and peaceful. Barely any insects out. Half an hour later, I'm getting swarmed. Honestly. I knew my luck wasn't going to hold out. So, you can hear the buzzing round about me. It sounds like I'm getting bombarded. Right, which route do I go? This route or that route? Going this route. So this should join on to the route I was planning to go on earlier. I hope. Big long path shaded by trees. What more could I ask for? Look at how clear the water is. You can see right down to the bottom. Time to step up the pace. Honestly, sometimes when I've got this camera in my hand, I just sort of meander about, taking it easy, looking about to see if there's anything interesting, but it's just a woodland path. So I'll turn the camera off and charge up it until I find the grotto. So that'll be a bird nest, I'm assuming. A bird nest just dangling off one of the branches. I've just got turned about a little bit because the grotto is just a little bit off the main path here. And I walked up to see if there's a way around, but you go up a hill and then you're looking down in the grotto, so I'm assuming I need to come back round this way and access it from the lower end. So let's see. There we go. Discover the Semple Trail. So it was owned by the McDowells in the 16th century. The Harveys bought it in 1814. I'm pretty sure I saw the name Harvey in some of those gravestones in the Collegiate Church. Alright, is this it then? There's nothing beyond this? Alright. So this is your grotto. I thought it would be bigger. Just a wee tiny building like this. I suppose if you were just sitting down here, grab a seat on the stone bench, you're just sitting there looking out, enjoying the day, you're in the shade. Oh, take my hat off for a minute. I get a nice wee breeze blowing in here. I suppose you wouldn't have got that when it had a roof. Yes, I don't know what it was used for. If it was just a wee shelter to come and sit in the winter or the summer. Yeah. It's only about 3 metres, well, maybe 4 metres across, like 2 to 3 metres wide. Oh well. I haven't been here before for sure. I would have remembered this. I remembered the church, but I don't remember this, so I can tick that off the list. So I'll just check my map. I think I just need to go back up to the main path and follow up the hill through Parkhill Woods, and there should be a viewing point up that hill, which I'm almost certain I've never been to as well. So shouldn't take too long to get up there, maybe 5 minutes. So let's charge on. There's 2 paths here. I believe this leftmost path takes me to the viewing point, whereas this one just bypasses it. I would have thought that would have been higher up, but apparently not. So let's go up this way, see if we can find the viewing point. You can just about see the grotto through the trees there. Quite honestly, if I didn't have the map on my phone, I would probably have missed it. What I did miss is a little pool of water down there. I didn't notice the pond, but I'm not walking back down because then I'll need to walk back up this hill. Leave that for the young fit people. That's a hell of a tree. It's like the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter. Don't get too close, you might get a battering. We're just around the back of it. The view is opening up. Ooh. And the sun has started baking me. Oh my days, it's so warm. You know, it's about 12:30 in the day just now. Which is why I'm feeling the heat. It wasn't too bad an hour ago, but I'm getting absolutely scorched now. Oh my. Ignore me being out of breath and just enjoy that view. It's a cracker, isn't it? See if it's even better the higher up I go. I don't think it gets much higher than this. But you can see the two lochs. Only a tiny strip of land where the main road is, it separates them. Very nice. Some sort of metallic sculpture up here. Maybe that's considered the peak. Probably is. Just looks that tiny little bit higher than everywhere else. What does that say? Bluebell. It's a nice rusty sculpture of the walking route, but it's actually a cycling route. But I don't cycle anymore. I walk it. Well, when I was about maybe 19 or 20 years old, I cycled this route from Paisley to Lochwinnock with my brother-in-law. It was an eventful route. First of all, I got attacked by a wasp and I jackknifed my bike, came over the handlebars. Thankfully didn't injure me or the bike. Then further along the route, I got to one of these gates where you have to get off the bike and walk through. And just as myself and my brother-in-law approached it, there were two young girls at it and one of them flashed me. You know, like, good grief. So, I mean, what can you do? I just laughed. It was slightly uncomfortable. Oh, so, for all you poor young women out there that have been flashed by a bloke, just know us blokes can get flashed at as well. The upper half, I might add. There we go. So this is as high as I can get here. Just going to sit here for 2 minutes, enjoy the view, and I'll power down the other side of this hill. It's looking a bit overgrown down there, hopefully it doesn't stay that way. Now, according to my map, as I go down this hill, this winding hill, I should hit another viewing point. I would have thought the further down I go, the less of a view I would have got. But the map says there's a viewing point, so I'm going to go and try and find it. And I'm walking through spider's webs, so I'm guessing I'm the first person to have walked this route today. It's that time of year. You know, see, because I've had the windows in my house open for weeks to let some cool air in, it also lets the spiders in. And I walk through my house and I'll get all these webs touching my face. But I don't really mind spiders, but the webs are quite annoying. What is this?
Although the McDowells had lowered the water level of Castle Semple Loch, crossing it was a dangerous event at the wading place. One stormy winter's day in 1767, a young lady and her footman were drowned there, as her mother, brother and fiancé watched helplessly. Later, a causeway was built and the crossing became the modern road from Lochwinnock station to the village. From the 1770s, McDowell rebuilt the dam at the outlet.
Right, so there you go, there is another viewing point. And what I didn't realise is these little solar powered speakers are actually a tour. I've walked past a couple of them and didn't realise they were a tour, but I pressed the button in that one and there's some bloke speaking. So there's a surprise for me. Yeah, still got a view here. I've got to look at my map and see if that was the other viewing point. I suspect it was. No. The viewing point is apparently away down this hill, so off I go. I'm going to have to come back here another day and press all the buttons in these little markers. I'm sure I won't be remotely interested in whatever it has to say, but well, that's quite a nice wee touch. This hill's quite slippy. All these loose stones on it. Need to take it easy as I'm going to fall on my backside. Yeah, so heading back into the woods. Perhaps the viewing point is looking in the opposite direction as we come down off the hill. Soon find out. There's a few hairpin turns on this path down, just to get down off the slope. Well, there was a path further up, it leads back to possibly where I came from before, or another route. I'm not going to walk it today. I think that's enough walking for today. I believe this path will exit me just at the other side of Lochwinnoch village, and then I'll just walk through the village. I don't know if I'll go back to the loch. It's probably not much point since I've already shown the loch at the start of the video. So follow this path. Still no sign of a viewpoint. Maybe it's just a mistake on the map. Maybe they'd placed the viewpoint in the wrong place, and where I was 5 minutes ago was the actual viewpoint. Because you can tell by the shade, I'm just in the forest now. No viewpoint to be seen. There's an exit via a wall here. I hope it's not an overgrown field. And there's a path. Okay. There's two paths. Map time. Right. According to the map, the path on the right just circles around in an oval shape with this path ahead of me, so just go up this one. Hopefully it doesn't become too overgrown here. Yeah, this must be the other viewpoint now that I'm going back uphill. But I don't think I'm going to get any better of a view than I got back there. I'll just put the map away because essentially once I exit this field, I'm on the main road and I just take a left. That's me heading into the village and I know where I'm going from there. Oh man. 51-year-old man gets out of breath in the sun. And I'm just recently 51. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't look a day over 50. Well, I'm 51. There we go. So, as if to prove me wrong, the map was correct. There is another viewing point. I'm not quite at it because there's another sculpture, and that's where the highest peak will be. There we go. I'm going to sit down here for 5 minutes and have a drink of water. Open up the window of your eye to see the greyness of the Semple Loch, stretched like a length of satin cloth below a Lochwinnoch sky. From the poem Come Sit With Me by Betty McKellar. And there's the view. Slightly impeded by those bushes in front of me. It's not bad. Right, I'm leaving that viewing point behind and just coming up this path to the main road. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I've enjoyed this walk and I hope you've enjoyed it too. Found a few nice little treats, some nice views, some nice old buildings. Scorched myself in the process, all for your pleasure. So I'll maybe get a few shots as I head back through Loch Winnoch, but for now, I'll turn the camera off and take a slow meander back the main road. Now on the outskirts of the village. Oh, it's very, very warm. My battery is almost kaput, so I don't know how much of the village I'll actually be able to film. I'll keep the camera running a little bit longer. This street I'm walking down has got lots of nice little houses on it, and the good thing about them is many of them overlook that fantastic view that I just showed you back there. And this hill that I'm on, where these houses are, is not as high up as the countryside path, but they must still get a really grand view. So, donate one to me. That house that I just showed you across the road with the flowers and the windowsills, it's one of the ones I like the most when I walk down this street. I'm just wondering how old it is. It looks old, probably at least 100 years old. Don't suppose there's any way of finding out. That's the main street through Loch Winnoch town. I'm not going to take it today. I'm going to go back to the country park, walk by the loch, then back to the train station. That's me back at the loch, but I'm not going to linger about. I'm going to try and walk fast back to the train station because there's a train in 15 minutes. But I doubt I can get there in 15 minutes. I'm going to try. So, thanks for watching and cheerio now.